How is it going, YouTube? My name is Ninja7, your resident Mistweaver monk. And guys, this is audio recorded after the key, so this is not, you're not going to hear me like react to swirlies I stand in and stuff. I do make those videos. I do really like making those videos, but for now, I am still sick. How long can one person stay sick for? This is kind of like insane at this point, but I don't want to cough on a live commentary, so I'm just recording audio after the fact. I hope you guys are okay with that, and I hope you're enjoying Season 3 Mistweaver Monk. I personally am having a blast. I think it's so much fun. We feel very strong, very survivable, as you see there. We can stand and stuff and take less damage than a hunter, so very fun season so far. One thing I really like about this season already is the dungeons. I think this dungeon pool is sick. I think like every dungeon gives off like good vibes, which is weird. It's a weird thing to say. You'll see here the DK dies. I mean, he does the DK death where they go into, I think it's called purgatory, where they die, but not really. You have a chance to heal them up, or else they will actually die, and we save them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, these dungeons are a ton of fun, and you'll see here we are in Everbloom, which on the PTR was, I think it was like a general consensus that this was like the most fun dungeon, but I think part of that was because of how hard some of the fights were and how easy some things were. Like Narlrot, which is not one of the bosses of this dungeon, but he's like a mini boss right before Witherbark. He is very hard. And then the third boss, the like 3 style mage boss, was seen as very difficult. Like it was really hard on PTR. You see me there ropping absolutely nothing. But yeah, this dungeon was seen as kind of difficult on the PTR. I mean, you know, difficult for what PTR dungeons were. A lot of them were pretty easy. Like a lot of it was very easy. But yeah, this dungeon had some scary parts. But coming into live, you'll see, honestly, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And I've kind of gotten that vibe from all the dungeons so far. They don't seem too bad. Maybe the 2 new ones. What are they called? Oh man, I should not be doing this live. But the 2 time ones, the 2 new ones, those are, one of them is like really hard. A lot of damage, like constantly a lot of damage. But for the most part, some of these dungeons seem pretty easy, at least to push up your key on week 1. It's not too bad. But you see there, we've got our boy Narlrot, which we're trying to sneak past. Why I didn't mount up, I don't know. But we barely squeaked by. He somehow did not, you know, sniff out our Tauren thick thighs. But that's Narlrot. He's difficult. One of the things that makes him super hard is he has this one mechanic where he puts a root on everyone. And you can break it. Like, you can, if you can break it. You can just, like, Tiger's Lust it. Or you can kill it. And it roots you, obviously. But he also has another mechanic that spawns like a silencing tornado around everyone. So if you're rooted, silenced, and under that tornado, you're taking a ton of damage and you literally cannot get out. So it's pretty difficult. There are ways to get out from even that scenario too. Like you can still break the roots and stuff, but it's hard. It's just, that's why people skip Narlrot. However, if you've seen this raid, he is the first boss, and I really like what they've done with him. He's honestly a sick boss. I'm a big fan of Narlrot in the raid. But how are you guys liking these dungeons so far? If you did not play the PTR and did not know what to expect out of these dungeons, are they kicking your butt like some people thought they would, or are you having fun with them? Because I'm having a lot of fun. And also, speaking of the raid, how far have you guys gotten? Because we've only had, my guild, we've only had 1 raid night, and we got pretty far. We got like all the way through normal and like halfway through heroic. So I'd call that a success for day 1 of raid. And having me and maybe one other person be the only people on PTR testing and actually know what the fights do coming into this week, I'd call that a pretty big success. And it was a lot of fun kind of hearing them ask questions about the mechanics and stuff. So I'm a huge fan of this season. I don't know if you can detect that in my voice. Maybe it's the sickness, but you'll see here one thing I just did on the tank. Here's a quick nugget. The first time I've even talked about what's going on in a pool, I channel a Soothing Mist as my tank is running to a new pack, and I cast an Enveloping Mist into them. Now, one, It's good to have Enveloping Mist on your tank. It's always good because it just increases the healing that you do to them, and it's just a strong hot. But 2, it allows your next, if you do a chi burst onto them, that chi burst will smack twice. So big AoE double pulse of damage. So you do that as they're running to a pack, put that hot on them, so that you don't waste the first 2 global cooldowns of you being there attacking that pack to just cast a hot onto your tank. So you channel Soothing Mist, cast Enveloping Mist, and then once you start running to the pack yourself, you cast the Zen Pulse on your tank, bang bang, and then you don't have to worry about that button. Like, it's not up for another 30 seconds. It's done its job. But anyways, we're on this fight, Witherbark. Now, this fight is one that I don't fully know the mechanics on, and that's one thing that I want to talk about today. Is that this week is 100% for learning mechanics, learning dungeons, and just getting better. And I say that to mean a few things, but mainly I want to let you guys know and just inform you, because I'm sure you already know this, but this week, your IO does not really matter. Now, sure, if you're going for the Curio, the little token that you can cash in for, I think once you get 2,500 IO, you get it. I think it's 25. It might be 2,000 or 3,000. I don't know, but I think it's 2,500. You get a token that you can use on one of the tier set pieces. So that is worth it. Like, getting higher IO is worth it for that. However, if you don't time your plus 11, there's no point, like no reason to BM whoever's fault it was or anything. And I say that because I don't think any of you guys are doing that. But we've already encountered that. Like, right now, I'm running a key with my 2 guildies, Decadence and Era, the Rogue and the Priest. And the dungeon before this, maybe it wasn't these guys, but we got into a key, and the tank just, like, once someone died, and he just was so toxic and then just left. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is the first day of the tier. And this guy is getting so serious about a plus, I think it was a plus 12. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, that IO, whatever IO he would get from that key, would be replaced in, next week or the week after that. It really does not matter. Like, it really does not matter. So people getting, like, super salty, hopefully you guys don't encounter that. But if you have, let me know down in the comments, because I love drama. You guys know I love drama. I love a good story. How did you retort, But hopefully you don't encounter that, because that is super toxic. But yeah, you'll see here, back to the original point, I don't fully know this boss's mechanics, and I know that because as we're pulling this boss, as those orbs are kind of flying through the boss, I'm thinking to myself, can I ROP these guys? Can I stun them? Should I try? And I still don't know the answer. So what that means to me, I took a mental note that I need to study this dungeon more, especially that fight, because if I want to know how to, defeat this dungeon, I want to know every single mechanic. And this week is the absolute most perfect week for that. This is the week to learn, to study, and just become acquainted to these dungeons, because we're going to be here for a while. We're going to have to fight these dungeons for months, maybe even up to like 6 months, or maybe even longer, who knows. But you're going to want to know the mechanics, and this week is a great week to learn and to practice. Don't kill yourself over missing a mechanic that was in a plus 16 or a plus 18. Learn it so that once you do the plus 18 or plus 20, you'll know what to do. And that's kind of how I've been taking an approach this week, which has made it very fun. I'm not taking it super seriously, but I'm taking notes and learning. And I'm someone who finds a lot of value and always loved learning. One thing about me is, like, in school, if I missed a problem on a quiz, like a math quiz, if I got a problem wrong and just didn't know how to do something on quiz day, then come test day, that was the one problem that I know I would get right. Like, I would go home and practice that one type of problem over and over and over. And it's just how I like to learn. And it's also probably why I ended up loving math and got the math major, because I don't know, that's just a fun way to learn. It's just learn from your mistakes. It's the most valuable way to learn, but it's also the most fun, in my opinion. But you'll see here, these noxious eruptions are trucking our group, And you'll see my priest friend, I think it's now, he's going to ask what is doing so much damage. So my group, my guildies, they are not experts in this dungeon, but I had run it a few times. I'm still not an expert myself, so I try to be very polite to them. And well, obviously I'm going to be polite to my guildies. You know, sometimes we shoot the shit, but you know, I'm going to be very nice and just kind of like explain all the mechanics to them. If I have to, I will, and I'll enjoy it. And I think we'll all walk away better, because obviously, hopefully you guys have picked up on this, I love to teach. It's like my passion. That's why I do YouTube. But I think these guys, there's two ways that you can answer someone when they don't understand a mechanic. You can say, oh my god, what a troll, like get out of my game, you know, and leave the group. Or you can just tell them so they can do it better the next time and know for the future and make the community as a whole a better place. However, you see there, I say ogre looking dudes cast. Now, I'll give you two options. This is a pop quiz. Did I either A, know what that dude was called and know what his cast was called, or B, have no idea what the cast was called in that moment, but I just watched Shrek the night before and had, you know, ogre fresh on the mind? I'll let you decide. But yeah, Shrek is easily one of the best movies of all time. But yeah, you'll see there, I tell him it's that dude's cast, and then after this pool, I make sure and let him know like which cast it was. Oof, right there, I was starting to cast my Shayloons into the priest. Was my fault. Now, once I get more used to this dungeon, I will know that when we do pools like this, or pools with an abomination in it, I should pre-cast my Shayloons so that it finishes right as that eruption cast finishes, so that we're healed instantly, so we don't die to the next tick of damage from whatever damage source that may be. And I'm already kind of making some of those playstyle corrections. Like my first Throne of the Tides this week, I know that I let someone die to the first hallway, which if you don't know, there are these guys, I think they're the Sentinels, who do this cast, and you can't kick it. But what happens is they put a heal absorb on someone, and underneath that heal absorb, there's a dot. So it's basically a race. Can you, the healer, heal that person, heal through that heal absorb before the dot kills them? And I let one person die, and then I did 3 more Throne of Tides so far, and I have not let a single person die. So I'm really getting on top of that mechanic. And then this one, Noxious Eruption, now watching it back, I see that's probably the next mechanic that I should focus on a lot. But knowing that my guildmates and maybe even these pugs just did not know the mechanics of the packs, this boss is probably nowadays the hardest boss in this dungeon. On PTR, I did not find this boss, you know, very difficult at all. I think the third boss was the hardest boss, but for now, it is this boss. So what I do is I just let them know beforehand, before we die to it and wipe to it, hey, here's a very good way to kill this boss. And how I like to do this boss is, you want to, the main objective is, one, make sure you're on the correct boss at any given time. So there's that melee boss, Dulu, and then there's the 2 casters behind him. Make sure that you pull Dulu to the right caster at the right time, and just cleave off of the right one. But in the meantime, they're going to be casting. The 2 casters are going to be casting some very deadly casts. And how I like to do it is just assign 2 people to kick one boss and 2 people to kick the other boss. However, it does get a little sketchy since you can assign like a melee and a ranged for one boss or one or the other. What I like to do is, instead of assigning, hey, I'm on Telu the whole fight, I like to say, hey, since I'm melee, I am on whichever boss we are on. See, since we're in melee, you see we get that kick. And then I like to assign the ranged kicks. So in this instance, I said the DK, I think their kick is ranged. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I said the DK and the Hunter, you guys kick whichever boss we are not on. So in this case, I guess technically I was supposed to get that kick. So my bad, but I went there and I was a hero, and I went back and saved the day kicking it. No, I'm kidding. It was my fault to begin with, but that is how I like to do this boss. And, you know, call me wrong, maybe that's not the correct way, but I think it works. I think just having 2 people on kick duty for whichever boss you're on, and the other two people watching the other boss. See, like here, I'd end up doing the other boss role, even though I think I said to not do it that way. But yeah, Revitalize and Toxic Bloom are the ones that you want to kick. Here, I just use my kick. I don't have it available. And you see there, we get stunned, we get a Toxin. But you know what's good against AoE Toxins is Revival. So click that button, save the day once again. I'm a hero. Let the Hunter almost die. I am no longer a hero. I revoke my own badge. But yeah, this boss can be very easy just as long as you're on top of the kicks and just play it correctly, which I guess is a stupid statement. As long as you play any boss correctly, it should be easy. But yeah, this boss especially. But so fun fact, I've already recorded this video. I did the entire audio. I walked through the entire dungeon, and I'm sick. I have very limited words in a day. And turns out my mic was not on. So I'm already running out of steam here. But one thing that I talked about when I recorded this before was like itemization. I don't remember how I got onto the topic, but I'm pretty sure it was smoother than this. Literally the lack of a transition. But with this week, you know, we're all in a blitz to try to get our tier set as fast as possible. You want to get 2-piece, 4-piece as fast as possible. However, there are some caveats to that. You don't want to use your catalyst super early. You don't want to use it like this week, for example. You might not even want to use, if you get the Omni token, you might not want to use that this week either. Maybe not even next week. So what I'm doing, I got very lucky in Raid. I won a die roll on a tier piece. So I am sitting currently at 1 piece. And speaking of One Piece, I watched the live action Netflix One Piece, and it was like exceptional. It was very good. But anyways, I'm sitting at 1 tier piece, and then I plan on next week or maybe even the week following getting Keystone Hero so that I have the Omni token from that. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. I'm so sorry. Which that'll put me at 2 pieces, and then hopefully the vault or you know, the raid gives me a 3rd piece so that I can catalyze the 4th. But you should not go ahead and catalyze. You should just wait, hold off, because you want to make sure that you're ensuring either 2 or 4 piece before you do that. But see here, that salvo is no joke. That is a ton of damage. But luckily, Mistweavers have all the tools right now. Yeah, my teammate said, "What is doing so much damage now?" And I type, I think I type it, yeah, Salvi. I typo, but yeah, that salvo is what's getting us, and man, it does a lot. So as a healer, you want to make sure you're prepared for that. But yeah, so this week I am really holding off on using any resources. I'm holding off on whelp crests. I'm holding off on like crafting. I'm holding off on everything. I'm not even equipping gear that I'm getting. I don't know why. I don't think there's a reason for that, but subconsciously, it's kind of like one thing that my wife always makes fun of me for. Whenever I get something new, like a new headset or my camera that I'm literally sitting in front of every single day, even my microphone, you know how the like new electronics always come with that like that clear like tape almost, but it's like super clear. I leave that on. I don't know why. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm crazy like that, but I kind of am doing that right now. I'm just holding off on using any resource. Run. Okay, we made it out of that, but I'm holding off on every single resource. Come on. Wow, that was close. You saw the hunter stayed alive at 1 HP so that I could get my Shaylun's Shaylun's gift cast off. But I do think that you guys should do that too. So hold off on crafting, hold off on catalyzing, all that stuff. And Omni tokens especially. But the main reason why you should hold off on crafting, although right now we have like a clear winner on what is the best thing to craft, you know, your elemental lariat right now is head and shoulders above every other craftable slot. Even with it being so much higher than the other items, it's still worth it to wait, because with this being the first week, it's likely that there could be some changes, some tuning still, and I think that lariat or whatever you plan on crafting could be a thing that could get tuned. And the worst thing that could happen is you craft an item and then it gets nerfed, and then all of a sudden you wish that you crafted something else, because we were limited on what we can craft. buy resources and stuff. So make sure that you guys hold off on even crafting. But if you've already crafted, I mean, who knows? They might not nerf Lariat, and hopefully that is what you crafted. That is what I'm planning on crafting, but like I said, I'm just holding off on that. And then some things about this week, some things that I haven't even touched on. I literally have not even talked about the gameplay, and I apologize. Maybe I should not even just post this, but I'm still posting it. Whatever. I like this video. I like this key. One thing that I'm focusing on this week, bouncing way back in time to that topic of learning, like using this week to learn. There's a lot of new gameplay changes. Ooh, I'm gonna get yoinked into that. Ooh, that was really bad. I just got away with murder. That was, wow, that was horrible by me. Anyways, there's a lot of new gameplay changes coming to Mistweaver, or that's come already to Mistweaver. And one of those things is that you want to be pressing Tiger Palm twice now, or basically getting to 4 stacks of your teachings of the monastery now. Instead of just cycling Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, you now want to do Tiger Palm, and then Blackout Kick. And if you've played Mistweaver in the past, you know that that's a big muscle memory thing, is cycling Tiger Palm and Blackout Kick. That's what we do. Like, that is just our muscle memory. So breaking things like that is, it's pretty tough. It is tough, but it takes time. So you need to start now on trying to optimize in that way. So things like that. And then also in Raid, pressing Essence Font again. I had to train myself not to press Essence Font. So pressing it again is wild. But I'm working on it. I'm really trying to nail down that rotation. Look, I really don't care what my parses are like this week. Although some of them have been good. Some of them have been pretty dog, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't care what my parsers are like. I just care how much I learn this week. So I'm really trying to just get that rotation down, even if it doesn't work out great. As long as I know if I'm pressing the buttons in the right order, it's good. But as you see here, we're light on percent. So we're gonna run back a bit. I'm actually gonna skip to the end, back to the boss, because I'm running out of voice. I'm running out of words today. But okay, here we go. Finally, final boss. This boss is kind of crazy because like you start the pool like as you come through the portal, so you're just like in the action. But this boss is really easy. It has a few mechanics, but a lot of them are mechanics that we literally just saw last week. Like you have to stomp over trees and stuff. So a lot of easy stuff. But all in all, long story short, I am very happy with this season. I've had a lot of fun so far in the last 2 days of pushing. As a Mistweaver in particular, I think we're really good in both forms of content. Like Mythic Plus, it feels like Ancient Teachings is doing a lot better job of maintaining health bars. It's not perfect. It can't solo dungeons. You can't just Ancient Teachings heal. And as you see here, I'm having to channel Soothing some. But it feels good. It does its job and it does it well. And then Shaylun still pumps. Chi-Ji still pumps. No changes there, but man, Essence Font and Raid. Go back and watch. I've posted 2 Raid VODs already. One of normal Fyrakk and then one of Heroic Council. And man, especially in that Heroic Council fight, Essence Font pumps. It slams when you play it correctly. So yeah, definitely go back and watch those. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go. Like I said, I'm running out of words. But I'm going to leave the gameplay going, and I'll even kind of show the healing breakdown and the damage breakdown. But I really appreciate you guys for watching this far into the video and for all of the support lately. Now, I don't drop this information often, so if you're still watching this video, you know what? I think you've earned it. I didn't even tell my wife when my birthday was. That's the information. I didn't even tell my wife when my birthday was until we had been dating for a year. So I just don't like people celebrating my birthday, but I figured, you know what? If you want to know when my birthday is, it's actually on the 20th. So it's coming up here in a few days. So the videos might get light. I don't know. I'm not someone who goes out and drinks and gets lit on their birthdays, but you know, I might do the complete opposite of that and still be sick and, you know, in a bed somewhere. But yeah, my birthday's on the 20th. I don't really have plans for it, but I'll tell you what, one thing that I wish I could do is spend my birthday with some of you guys. So I hope that I can stream on my birthday. That would be such a fun time. But until then, I want to say a special shout out to you guys because you have been so supportive. it is not fruitful. It's not worth it to try and make YouTube videos, especially as a Mistweaver monk. But it is not worth it if you're only after money. But luckily, I came into this hoping to make some friends, and I really have. I mean, you guys have been so nice. We have built a very nice community in the Discord, and I thank you guys. I thank my Patreons. We have a little Patreon chat in the Discord. It's very quiet now because there's only a few people, but huge shout out to these guys. Y'all have no idea how much of an impact this has on my life and me being able to keep doing this and pushing this channel. So thank you guys so much. But if you're still watching this video, you have no idea how much that means. I mean, it means a lot in the YouTube algorithm and to me personally. So thank you so much. But as you hear now, my throat is literally closing. Goodness. But thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, guys.